Bringing right now NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Entin, who's in Tucson for us tonight and also has been on the story since day one. We also have with us Paul Powers. He's the founder and CEO of Physna, an AI-driven 3D search and analytics company. 2019, he was one of Forbes magazine's 30 under 30. Show off, but great to have you here nonetheless. All right, Brian, I want to start with you. Okay, it seems investigators are taking this theory pretty seriously, but can you provide more clarity on it? Like how widespread it was, how long this would have lasted, this jammer situation? Was it just one night? I mean, what do we know about it?
So we know this started because we found out that the FBI agents were asking the neighbors if they experienced an internet disruption or outage right around the time that Nancy Guthrie went missing, which was around 2 a.m. on February 1st. Come to find out, one of the neighbors who lives behind Nancy Guthrie tells me that he realized that the two Ring cameras on the back of his house, so the part that are actually closest to Nancy Guthrie's house, became inactive during that time period, which has never happened before. And he's, of course, reported that now to the FBI. Also interesting, Jesse, one of his dogs actually woke up at that same time, which he says is very unusual in the middle of the night, and wanted to go outside and then was staring in the direction of Nancy Guthrie's house.
So let me ask about this, Paul. Based on what we're seeing here, I'm going to leave the floor to you. You saw the video, the picture where it might appear that this suspect has a jammer in the back pocket. You heard the description laid out by Brian. Is this all consistent with somebody purchasing and using some sort of jamming signal device? What would it do? Does it seem consistent?
It does, considering the proximity. So these Wi-Fi jammers typically have a range of between like 30 to 100 feet. And so the investigators are doing exactly what you'd expect them to do, calling around asking, did everybody's Wi-Fi signal get jammed at the exact same time? And considering that it was the two Ring cameras on the backside of the house closest to Nancy Guthrie's house, it sounds like it was probably a pretty short-range Wi-Fi jammer. We can't know for sure, though, but if you look at the router logs and see, did Wi-Fi signal go down, but was the internet still on, but the Wi-Fi signal was lost? In other words, if you had an Ethernet connection, you would still have been connected to the internet, but you lose the Wi-Fi signal, because that's actually what's being jammed. It's not the internet, it's just the Wi-Fi signal.
And by the way, the router wouldn't pick it up, right?
Well, what happened is the router would, you lose the connection between the device and the router, right?
Okay.
So the connection that you're looking for is either a 2.4 gigahertz or a 5 gigahertz connection. So that frequency gets jammed by those handheld Wi-Fi jammers. And so if you see that, for instance, the internet's still active, but suddenly you've lost connection to one of those devices that was connected by Wi-Fi, and that happened with multiple devices, that would definitely indicate that it was probably a Wi-Fi jammer.
Just want to follow up on that, Paul, because you might look at the photos and the videos that were taken from Nancy's Ring camera of this suspect. It's quite clear in quality, and the fact that we have it, would that suggest that perhaps there wasn't a jammer used?
That's actually what I've been wondering this entire time. So the thing is, you can jam a signal and still actually get the video uploaded. So when you're using Ring, 99% of the time that footage gets uploaded to the cloud. So it's actually possible that you have a Wi-Fi jammer, and it just so happens that the footage gets uploaded before the Wi-Fi signal's jammed. What's perplexing about it, though, is why did he physically remove the camera if he had a Wi-Fi jammer, unless it was just to be extra safe, I guess. Maybe that's the case.
Well, see, so Brian, let me go back to you. Nobody knows this case better than you. Two parts to this. Does it make sense to you that this was so professional, this was so organized, using a device like this? And also, has there been any evidence that is actually some sort of jamming device in the back pocket, that it is an antenna? What have you been hearing from your sources and on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's possible that it was a walkie-talkie, Jesse. I think that's a real possibility, because this person may not have wanted to bring their phone to the house knowing that they could have been tracked, and was using that walkie-talkie to maybe communicate with a getaway driver that was parked, blocks away. I think that could be the case, but the fact that the FBI is specifically now asking neighbors about an internet disruption, and that this one neighbor has this situation, and the other interesting thing is behind Nancy's house is like an area of open desert that this other neighbor lives on. So I'm wondering, if this suspect came in through the desert, through the backside, maybe had the jammer on, and as they were passing houses on the backside, it was interfering with those Wi-Fi signals. So, the neighbors may have been impacted not from when he was at Nancy Guthrie's house, but from when he was moving through the desert behind their homes. I think that could also be a possibility.
Now, I'm going to steal a question from Katie Pavlich that she asked of you, Brian. Don't tell her, it's fine. But now I have Paul, so I want to ask him this. Is it possible a device like this could be used to disrupt someone's cell phone if they wanted to call 911, if they wanted to use, I don't know, 5G or Wi-Fi, well, definitely Wi-Fi, but 5G? I mean, could it disrupt someone's cell phone? So, I mean, again, the idea of if, let's say, somebody was about to call 911 or Nancy was going to call 911, anything we should be thinking about there?
I mean, it is theoretically possible, especially considering how a lot of cell phones are actually ultimately utilizing Wi-Fi at the end of the day to connect. Traditionally, though, you don't think so. Wi-Fi jammer doesn't normally interfere with most cell phones, with most cell signals. So it would be a pretty bold move to bring that a device like that and just assume that that's going to disrupt the cell signal. That's a little. I wouldn't bet on that if I had been that person.
Bold move. You're talking about somebody who went up to, the mother of a TV star, and doctor. It's pretty crazy. Brian, as we finish up the week, go back to another key piece of evidence or potential key piece of evidence. Any updates on that vehicle that was caught on camera?
No, unfortunately, we haven't gotten a significant update from the sheriff on that, just that they're continuing to look at it. It hasn't been discounted. Something else interesting, though, just by the way, when it comes to the jammer and the cell phone stuff, I mean, right where Nancy's house is, where I'm standing, it's kind of in like a little dip in the road. There's almost no cell phone service here just regularly. I mean, you barely get even one bar down here, which is just kind of interesting to think about, too, as we learn that they seem to be having a hard time tracking the cell phones that were coming in and out of this area. That seems like it could be a component, too, that's making it more difficult, Jesse.
Just great. Just another complicating factor in this case. It's so disappointing. Brian Entin, thank you so much for your terrific reporting, as always. And Paul Powers, thank you so much for your analysis of this issue. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.